Because I believe the first one might already be on YouTube. If you
the balloon, I do the flowers and
no, the parrots. I mean, like the first half. The
yeah.
parrots is up on, I believe now. Okay, perfect.
It's always the same how to say that stuff.
The same link. Yes. Yep. Okay. So I don't really have a plan for the background. We can continue to add like some of these leaves if you really want it, or we can make it like a lot more loose and like watercolory kind of thing. What, do we have any preferences? No. Or we could build. You know what? Let's build up a background. I think that would be very nice if we like, if we really work, remember the oranges, how we built and built and built up layers? Let's do that for the background for here, because that'll add a lot of texture and interest to it. Make sense?
Yeah. And if we want to do the oak and the fern, we can. That's background, is it? Or are you saying scrap the oak and the fern?
All this?
Yeah.
I was going like, we can add it on over top after. Yeah, yeah.
I like it.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to add, yeah, I'll probably add some of these like ferns throughout it and stuff, but that'll be over top of like my base layers. I want to build up my base layers. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is move my coffee, because otherwise I'm putting my paintbrush right in there. And I'm going to wet my favorite mixing brush, which is my like number 8 round. Tends to be my favorite mixing brush. I find it picks up quite a bit of paint. And then I'm going to, how am I going to do this? Because I want to contrast this bird, right? And this bird is very vibrant. So I think I'm going to look for more, I think I'm going to do like more pastel-y colors. If that makes sense, because it'll contrast the vibrance of this.
If we use the same colors, I think it might go.
Yes, so I'm going to use a lot more blues, like just and yeah, I think I'm going to use some blues because blues tend to fade into the background, where warm colors come out into the foreground. So whenever you're painting, if you're like, oh, I really want this to stand out, add warm washes to it, because that'll bring it out into the foreground, and then the cold colors fade into the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix like a bluish green, I think. Yeah, like a bluish green, kind of looking like it's like a little misty out into there. So I am going to start with, I have Viridian green. I'm going to start with that. See how it's like a really bright turquoisey color? You can get this by mixing like a blue with, or a green with an ultramarine blue. And I'm actually going to add more ultramarine blue to this. Like that. And then what happens? So this is me just thinking out loud. What happens if I add a little bit of brown to that? Ooh, I like that. Okay, okay. So then I added a little bit of burnt umber brown to it. Yeah, no worries. I 100% know exactly what I did, and I can repeat myself if you need it. I'm thinking kind of like tropical rainforesty, but like the deepness of like being inside like a forest kind of thing. That's my idea.
You add a brown.
Yes.
What
yes.
brown with that?
I did a burnt umber.
Burnt umber.
Yeah, that tends to be my go-to brown. So this looks a lot more blue in there. It's a little more green on my palette.
You make it quite watery, eh?
I do, but there, if you look in the sides, there's like really, there's a lot there. Because we're working a lot more pastel-y, which means that we are going to be using like a lot more water than paint, if that makes sense. Would you like me to help you?
Mud right now.
You got mud?
Yeah. So I have this, like, I have a dark green and I use some of the clean and some of this yellow.
Okay.
This,
Just, let me grab a. I have so many paintings that I just use the backs of my painting as tests.
okay. It's not that.
Okay. What?
It's not that.
So
should I just use
we
this
just have to add a little bit of glue to it,
Okay, so right there.
but like,
That's all we need.
yes, because glue is like so overpowering.
Right.
And when I mix it with glue, this, so that I can see what it looks like. Or was, yeah.
So you wouldn't use the other.
Like, it's nice color, right? It really is though. Sorry, I just grabbed all that glue.
That's okay. That's all right.
So we went a little more like foresty green, right? Like that?
It's okay.
It's okay, yeah, okay. How would you, what don't you like about it? Is it getting too
Well-
warm?
I was aiming for what you had. So
Yes, yes, okay. So I do need, we need more of that ultramarine blue.
Okay, that's fine. You can just put it in anything. I've got lots of.
Then keep on adding green to it.
Okay.
It's hard because you're working with wet paints.
Wait.
Why does it go in dark? I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. That's I add a lot of it. So funny, how the theory is just
I
water.
know.
It just makes it like darker.
I'm so
confused. That will do a lot.
So Viridian green is made, or the Viridian is made with which colors?
It's a lot, it's a very interesting color.
I know, if I managed to make that with these colors, I'm just not sure. It's a gorgeous color.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's lovely. It's almost 2 hours.
Oh, no, you've got the color very close to that.
No, not that,
Okay, so
that
it just looks
lovely color like that. I have at home that color itself in the tube, but
Okay.
I didn't bring it.
Okay. Oh, you've got a nice color.
I just wondered if it's not too close to my feathers. I don't have brown.
add some purple to it.
Turquoise, how do you turquoise?
I feel so lost right now. What's happening? Okay.
I'm glad you have a program too. After
Yep.
so many
I'm
experiences,
like
person.
getting
Yeah,
stuck.
sure. No wonder we get lost. And
Yes.
Well,
Okay, I think we're getting closer. Do you want to mix a color with my Viridian greens?
no. I will just.
Okay, are you sure?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, this did become a lot more blue than what it was.
Okay. Okay. Thank
You
you.
could continue adding blue if you want to see where that goes.
So this one was mixed with the,
This is just Viridian green.
It's in hers.
Yes,
ah,
so this is the color that I did end up mixing. Actually, it's very close.
It's close, you're
It's
right.
actually
and
very
where
close.
did you get this
Thank
one?
you, thank you.
This is just Viridian green.
Oh,
That's
you
unmixed
use that,
Viridian green.
So we're looking for green on the blue then.
Yes, Yes.
So mine's blue, okay.
yes.
Still very good.
Well,
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, more variety than.
It is hard though, to,
Mixed colors, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice, yes, I love that color. It's very close. This is the color that I was going.
I don't think so, because I didn't see it at all. But it's a good,
No worries. Oh yeah, you're getting close. Add a little bit of purple and I think you'll be good. Your purple will like act quite a bit like the brown. Okay, so then what we do, Mika has the right idea.
sorry,
You have the right idea. That's exactly what we're doing. So, yeah, you did it. Good job. We are going to wet our brushes and they're fairly wet right now, okay? And I'm gonna pick up a little bit of color. Thank you, Patricia, for your patience when I helped everyone mix color. And then we are going to kind of just add it on and be very loose about it and just kind of like feel this one out. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's the first wash.
can I use a bigger brush?
If you want to, absolutely.
Do we wet our paper?
Nope, we are wetting our brush. And then and then just be careful when carving around your main subject, which is the bird.
main character.
Yes. But like, feel free to overlap, feel free to leave white spots. It doesn't have to be perfect. We are looking for texture here.
So it doesn't have to be flat,
No. We don't want it to be flat. We want to start making texture. I like to work really thin and not dry, but like not sopping wet, because then my layers will dry. And then once your layers dry, look what happens if I go over it. And then I go over it and it actually creates like an additional texture to it. So like really play with your colors this way. Become curious, you know? This is a really good spot right now to become like more familiar with how your watercolors react and how they layer. The more you experiment, the quicker you're going to become familiar with how your watercolors move. Do we have anybody who has painted previously with like oils or acrylics in here? Or not are used to it? Okay, perfect. When I get students who have previously like come from oils or acrylics, they often get really frustrated with the watercolor because acrylics and oil paintings, they just kind of do what you want them to do. Whereas watercolors,
You are able to control them.
you are 100% able to control them, yes. Whereas watercolors, you are a little bit at the mercy of the water itself.
Plus, I think you can cover up and skate.
Yes, much easier, yes, because they're so opaque.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you don't like what you did, you can just kind of like, just go over with a color and it'll just cover it up.
Whereas watercolors are very unforgiving.
Yes. You can lift, but only so far. And it also depends on like the temperature of your water that you're using, because if you use like heat, if you put heat to this at all, the paper is made out of like fabric textile materials, which if you add heat, if you're trying to like set a stain, whenever you're dyeing cloth, you want to use boiling water because it sets a stain, right? So if you take a blow dryer in between, if you want to work really fast and you take a blow dryer in between your washes, then you're also going to really set that color in there. So if you want to like lift it off, then you're gonna be SOL. So
Says well.
oh, it's shit out of luck.
Oh. And save our ship though.
There you go. So now I have this really nice texture starting to form in the background.
I need to know people. Walking in the water.
It's a little bit tormented, mine.
I like it. No, it's good. It's good. What we're trying to achieve is that look that like there's light kind of shining through a canopy and the leaves are like kind of layering each other. So like certain areas are going to be a lot lighter than others. So we really want like a speckled, if you will, background.
Just to wait to
Yeah.
then to dry.
Yep, absolutely. That's why I'm working, that's why when I'm working, I am working with like a damp brush and color because my layers will dry pretty quickly this way. So also play with like how wet and damp your brush is and how much color you pick up versus not, right? This is a really, really good opportunity to become curious about your watercolors and how they move. All right, I'm happy with that. Watch how I'm applying my, like, watch the movement of my brush too when I'm doing this. I'm kind of just like jumping around. It's a very organic way of applying my material where I'm kind of jumping around. I'm allowing the brush to touch the paper at different angles, kind of thing. So I'm not really being like, this isn't really your average way of like coloring something, right? I'm not painting a wall here, is what I'm saying. Like, that's not the motions that I'm using right now.
You make a little bit darker now, kind of. More pigment.
I'm doing the back, like, cause I'm picturing that there's the trees are like, the sun is coming through from the top. So I'm picturing that down here, it would probably be darker. So I'm just going in now and I'm adding a little more depth at the bottom and like slowly fading it up. And again, I'm not using more or less paint. It's just the more you put over top of each other, it's going to slowly darken, right? Ooh, fine textures, guys.
No control.
No control. This is dramatic, and I love that.
Okay.
Yeah, I really do. Ooh, yes, Nick, exactly.
Wow, that's, you.
No, exactly, no, you got on though, but like, this is beautiful.
Not really.
I like the circular brush strokes, you know, I like your brush strokes.
It's a happening.
Yes, it's happening.
Yeah, because I have too much water in
Yeah.
the paper is so wet.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
This is the reason I thought I'm just no control. I want to vibrate it, but I'm not allowed. And we are not going, because we do this, we are not going to print any plant.
No, we will paint plants.
Okay.
Yes, yes, this is just the base layer.
Oh.
You're welcome. Yeah, we're building up layers right here. We're taking this very simple background that's on this side, and we're going to really add in a lot of detail and texture. But not enough that it'll take away from your macaw.
I think I have to wait now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now I'm just waiting for it to dry. And then the next part that I'm going to do is with that same color, very light. Once it's dry, I'm going to start adding some of these ferns and like hints of plants in the background. And they're all going
We
to,
are not going to use the pencil.
no, we are not using the pencil.
Oh, God.
On our own.
Mhm.
So we have
Well,
to wait for.
You
the
can,
pencil to
does
become
everyone
clear.
have practice sheets? Because if you have practice sheets, you can
Yeah.
use it right now. Because the way to do those ferns is very similar to the way we did it last time, where I'm kind of not thinking about these ones because they're very complicated. I'm more like thinking that we'll probably do a lot more of these. So the way I'm gonna do that is with the tip of my brush, I'm gonna draw a very thin line. From there, I'm gonna draw a tip of a leaf. And then I have to figure out an angle for my leaves and like stick with them. See how these are all following the same angle off of the stem? So that's super important. Otherwise, you're going to get some really weird ones. So I'm doing these in 2 strokes, the leaves. I'm going thick and then thin, and then I'm pressing down hard and then kind of lifting up. So it creates these nice, delicate leaves. Pay attention to your spacing as well. So I'm only using the tip of my brush. I'm really, like, this is the smallest brush I have, and I'm really treating it like a drawing. And just practice that, because we have to wait for our painting to dry, so we might as well do something.
The sun helps the dry phosphorus.
Yep, yep. But again, you're adding heat, so you're not gonna really be able to lift off, which is fine, because that's the base color.
I understand.
I'm just letting you know, that's the consequence of allowing heat to dry your painting.
Yes. Take the consequences.
There you go. Hey, so long as, some consequences, not all consequences are bad.
I don't know what I said, but thank you.
Okay, here's something interesting. I'm going to try something. You guys let me know if you like that. And if you don't, that is okay.
Let's see.
Oh, I haven't done it yet. I'm just mixing a color. Yeah, I'm mixing kind of like a bluish brown. And then I'm gonna add a branch underneath the macaw. And you guys let me know if you like that or not.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice. Yeah. Kind of grounds it.
Yeah, otherwise it's floating in the air.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep, I can help you figure out the science of how branches work.
You should use like a slightly bigger brush for that, right?
You can if you want to. I have a number 4 right now that I'm using.
Nice.
So if you guys want to do that, we can. Definitely. Just trying to make this look a little more natural. Okay, so how branches work is wherever there's like a little bit of a bend, a branch comes out of that bend, right? So see how here I kind of curved it down, which means that this is a really strong point for a branch to come out of. Does that make sense, how I'm doing this? Yes. I had to create one here because I didn't include one, but so the way that this was formed was it came up kind of like that, and then instead of doing a branch, I decided to do like a nub kind of thing, like instead. But this would also be a really good place, but I don't want to because there's already this one and I'm trying to not create some symmetry, you know? Also a lot of branches come out from the backside of the branch, right? So like you could do this and it would look like it's coming out from like the back of the branch. Does that make sense? Does that help a bit with the understanding of how branches work? And also, it's gonna go thicker to thinner. The farther away a branch is from a trunk, the thinner it gets.
What color did you use?
I mixed a burnt umber with my ultramarine blue. Because I want to I really want to like emphasize that the Parrot is the main source. So I made sure that my blues my blues and the background colors are colder. So I mixed a colder brown, if that makes sense.
And the position of the branch would be
So the position of the branch,
yeah.
Great
because, you know,
question.
they have legs, right?
yes, so they'd be like right where, if you can imagine where the body meets the tail, that's where the legs are gonna come out. So
Yeah.
that's where the branch is gonna go under, because it's gonna sit on top of it, right? So see how like you can imagine that this is where the body like would start, like the stomach would probably be like right here, right? And then the tail. So I did it like basically where the tail meets the wing. Does that make sense?
And the angle is, because the bird is this way, right? So it's one side is a little higher than the others.
Well, I did it more at an angle because that bird is going to be weighing down that branch a bit, right? Because the weight of the bird is going to affect the branch itself. All amazing questions. Thank you, Mitt. Like these are like super important questions that like I automatically think of, but that's because this information is automatic, right? So your questions really help me elaborate, and I appreciate it.
Because if you put it straight, it's cutting like a straight, right?
If I put a straight line, this is my straight line, right? Yep. So yeah, this is my straight line right there. Does it help if I leave it there? Okay.
So we should use the skinniest brush to just draw the branch, right?
I made the branch thin, and then with layers, I slowly made it thicker and thicker.
There's no forgiveness, right?
Yes. It's like when you're applying eyeliner and you want your wings to match, and then like this one gets thicker, so then you have to make this one thicker, but then this one's thicker, so then you have to make this one thicker, and then eventually you have just black eyes. And make sure your branches aren't pinned straight. Like they can't be perfectly straight. See how this one has a little bit of a curve in it? Right here, there's like a little bit of a curve, and then it curves up a bit like that, like, because branches don't grow perfectly straight. We want more of an organic line here. You want our trees to have some personality. If you want, if your paper's dry, you can 100% pencil it in first if you wanted to. If I did it again, I don't think I would add this branch coming up. No,
I know.
I think I would like the composition a little more if it were just like that. Just like that. Instead of that.
I think it's good, it's good.
If you'd like it, go ahead. I think I'm gonna try blending it out again. You don't have to. Don't do this. I'm just trying to see if I can.
Well, actually, someone told me that, Mr.
Bob Ross?
No.
Oh, okay,
You
sorry.
know that cleaning,
Oh, Mr. Clean,
Mr. Clean.
erasers,
That-
yeah.
Yeah, with the spongy one, you know, that sponge and there's things in it. I don't know how to call that.
A spray?
No, it's a sponge like that.
Yeah.
White, and you know, you go like that, it's some
Oh,
bubbles.
it's like a magic eraser.
Magic eraser.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
Does that way.
Okay.
Was it really?
Yeah, and it worked for me, but I didn't do it today, but it has to be a good paper,
Oh.
Yes.
because it's cheap paper, wouldn't do any good.
I think I like that better, personally. But that's me. If you liked it the other way, add it the other way. You know why I think I like it better? Because I know where we're going with the next steps. I think that's why I like it better, because I have an idea of what I want to do.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on a limb here with this, literally. Hanging out.
So I got rid of that by lifting it up, and then I added in more color back to it. So it is forgiving in to a certain extent. Nice. I like it.
Oh, God, thank you.
I
I
like
didn't
it.
expect because the paper is like a paper.
Absolutely. Yours is very successfully done. Loving this texture that you're adding here. The only thing I'm seeing is that, see how this tip is much thicker than that? So I would add in this a lot. I would make this branch and then this a little bit thicker than that.
Oh.
Or you can lift
yeah, I
it,
see what
or
you
you
mean.
can flip it.
That's right, yeah, because it's not holding it up.
Oh man, that's gorgeous. It's so, I love that it goes to like little points. Oh yes, that is a beautiful one. Yes. And because you have so much here, you could even like end it like right here. Yeah.
So I will, how do I go all the way to?
I wouldn't, yeah, I think you have the proper length that you need, honestly.
Oh, okay, so just a little longer.
Just a little longer, yep, I think you're good. Cause otherwise you're gonna have to start adding more branches for it to make sense. Yeah. Which we are gonna be adding hints of branches. But we'll get to that when everyone's ready. So I'm going to further create texture in my background by adding hints of branches in the trees. So what I mean by that is I'm looking at my painting and I'm looking for light areas in between dark areas of that texture, right? So right here is a good example because this is dark and then this is dark and then there's like a nice little light area here. And if I just take a brush and kind of like hint at a branch ever so slightly, then it looks like you're seeing the back, like the a branch through the trees, right? And it becomes a little more organic. I don't want to connect them to my parrot because that will be weird looking, but if I do more, so. And then you can even, if that's too dark for you, kind of like lift it up if you wanted to, just by running your brush a few times over it. And see how it kind of looks like it's like a hint of a tree branch? Does that make sense?
Not really. to
No,
me.
not to you? Okay, okay, no worries. Let me do a few more. And this isn't like, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. This is just like an additional layer. But what I'm trying to get at is that like these are like clusters of leaves, and then you're seeing some of the branches go through the clusters of leaves, if that makes sense.
Okay, so you are going to put some leaves.
I'm putting branches because it looks like this is a cluster of leaves, and then there's a branch that comes out back into another cluster of leaves. You're good, don't worry. And I wouldn't, I'm not, if I do decide, if you do decide to do that, don't, make sure that you're not doing a lot of them. Just like here and there.
Nuance.
Yes. If you want to do this, you don't have to do this. I think it adds an interesting texture. You can try it out. If you hate it, the worst thing you end up with is a bad painting, but now you know what you don't like and what you don't like. Honestly, that's it. That's all that I'm going to do with that. This is very little. But see how all my lines direct me back to my parrot? See how all these lines kind of direct my eye back to this parrot? And then this way, it doesn't look so awkward, like there's just a random branch sticking out. You know, it kind of gives more the illusion that it's in a tree. You can, if you wanted to, also add some additional smaller sticks. Like maybe these ones are going off. Like more behind it kind of thing. And it's like the tips. Just, I'm being very strategic with where I place, like I maybe right here. But again, these aren't going to be as dark as this because these are in the background, right? They're farther away from us. Do you like it with more leaf? Do you like the way that it looks with more branches in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Makes sense.
Just smudge something.
I'm gonna add one more because I have 4 here. I do not like even numbers in my paintings. Okay, that I think I'm happy with. I don't want to touch it anymore. Drawing trees and branches, no joke, so difficult to do. So difficult to do because it's such an organic process and our brains just don't want to work that way. You know, like especially this part, I had to force myself to put a branch that went up from this one over top of this one and then under top of that one to get this interesting shape right here. But like I had to consciously think about that. Otherwise I would not have done that.
That's a bit complicated.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. But look how natural it looks now because of it.
Yeah. does.
Also, I think I'm going to extend this one.
Yeah, that is a bit of a.
Branches are very difficult to properly emulate. They look easy, right? They look like they would be very easy to accomplish. And then you start doing it and you're like, wow, this is actually very difficult.
Yeah, look natural is not easy.
Nope.
No.
Okay, I have to stop, otherwise I would like continue doing this forever. One of the things I love doing is drawing trees.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some.
And you,
4 coffees per.
Yeah.
no sugar, no milk.
Oh, okay.
I'll get my milk, yeah.
Nice, Vika. You have a good strong. I actually really like this.
You do like this?
I like that, yeah, it looks natural. It looks like there's like 2 branches that are kind of doing this and overlapping, but you can't see in between the center of them.
We need rest. I
Okay.
can't with anything, yeah, because we feel like it's not.
Yes, I can look after this much.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm really trying to.
I would leave it, because we're going over top of it.
Should I paint?
Oh, I see.
my red?
12:30?
No,
No, because the.
also you are doing a really good job.
Next to class starting on.
Yeah, they're very delicate at what they work.
I gotta use.
And because they're so delicate and fine, they look like they're like the tip of a tree. You got that right. Nice. Yes,
Yeah.
I really like that. I like that this is a lot lighter, you can really tell that these are probably going on the angle and actually behind it. I think they're going
Today.
behind it. Yeah.
It'll take about 20
Yep.
minutes,
I think that's really
15 minutes.
I really like this branch. I think that branch is
Free.
very.
Okay.
It's
Thank you.
Oh, it's very
Okay.
Japanese. Yes, that's like exactly that.
I'll do that 3 with Mika.
Okay.
That's okay? Perfect. Coffee's on the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
The sakura, like a cherry blossom?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. But the painting that you see of it.
Yeah,
It's a
you know,
very
smear,
gnarly-
just like a big.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, because it's a cherry tree, and cherry trees are very like
Yeah,
thick, horny
gnarly.
bark and really gnarly. Yeah. I remember climbing cherry trees when I was younger, not a pleasant experience. Whereas I have more of like a, not a fruit tree, or maybe an apple tree kind of thing. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
There's, because then you have to like think about the texture of the bark too, which is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's beautiful to look at,
yes.
but not drawing.
There's so much to consider when you're doing plant life. It's wild. Okay, so, all right, let's do something a little interesting. We're gonna add a little bit of yellow in it to make it look like there are sun kind of like shining through. I'm going to do that with, I'm gonna mix together my cadmium yellow and my yellow ochre, because my cadmium yellow is too vibrant, it's like too highlighter to me, but the yellow ochre is too mustardy for me, so I need an in-between for that, right? So I'm mixing together both of them. So I have this beautiful highlighter cold yellow, and then I'm just gonna take a little bit of yellow ochre to kind of warm it up. Oh, that went a little too far. There we go. This is the color I'm looking for. I had a, either dirty paintbrush or dirty palette. When, friendly reminder, when you're cleaning your brushes, make sure to lightly like tap them on the bottom of your container. Because otherwise, if you just move it around, it's cleaning the outside, but you have to like kind of like do this and bend them to get to the core of your brush. Yeah, no problem.
All you in regards to the bulk.
So then, again, much like we did the background, right? How we didn't pick up a lot of color at all. I'm going to do that with the yellow, pick up a little bit of yellow. And then in these light spots specifically, I'm gonna, oh, that's way too dark. I'm going to kind of just add in hints of yellow. See how that's more of a hint? You can barely see it, right? That's what we're going for. Very diluted.
So very motivating.
Yes. Take your time. This is all going to be up on my YouTube too. Like I'm going to put this on my YouTube maybe over the weekend. So if you want to go at your own pace. And if it's too dark on your paper, like watch what happens if I like, oh, wow, that's really dark. You can really see that. So I'm going to clean my brush and then just with water, I'm going to pick it up and spread it around. Okay.
Do you think?
No, here.
Mary, sorry.
I'm Karen.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Do you think it enough?
I love it, yeah.
No,
The
the
yellow, maybe a
line.
oh, I see, because you're making it come kind of from one direction, then a shadow there. Yeah, I might have put some on the corner, but I don't know if you're going for like a sunbeam. You should probably ask me.
For me, it enough.
It is, eh? You're right. Well, you see, I'm much more happy.
Yeah,
I'm not organized. It's
becoming more.
because you're going for the sun coming one direction, right?
That's one of the disadvantages of working right from a tube is you're going to automatically just pick up a ton of more color, right? Because it's like wet. Yeah, that's one of the disadvantages of working from a tube. It's why I prefer dry palettes personally. I use tubes to refill my palette, but I always work from a dry palette. Or a pan, if they call them.
Right.
All right, that's good. I'm happy with that. This is quickly turning into my favorite class. It's so, like that I teach, it's so calm and unhurried. All right, we are halfway through our class. I have to keep track of the time, otherwise, we'll just. Nice. It's very concentrated. If you like it, that's good.
I wouldn't put more. I mean, more spots.
I would put more spots. I might soften them a bit.
Okay, this is the reason I have taken
Okay.
fresh water because I like to try with a little bit of.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, I would do it.
It's too strong.
It's very strong and like it's very concentrated.
Are we trying to cover up all the white spots with yellow?
No, we're just kind of like
Just
haphazardly going for it. Yep. Nice. Yep. Nice, Smith. It's good.
I need to darken a little bit of it.
We are gonna add another layer over top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we are going a little bit darker. Yep. This is a slow build up.
A little more proud, he's not hiding anymore.
Sure,
Has he got his branch yet?
Yeah, I got a little bit, flimsy branch.
Oh. Great. You know, we use a lot of energy, yeah.
You're also like doing a lot of thinking, right? So that is tiring on your brain.
It's calming though.
Yes, very calming, but you're still learning stuff and it's still taking energy out of you. So see, I went ahead and just in this corner added another layer of leaves and see how that automatically starts adding more texture. And I went over top of the branches a little bit, kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do again, especially near this bottom where it's closer to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to have a chair.
Yeah. And we're also creating depth this way.
The branches.
Yeah, because when you think out in nature and you're looking really far away, the atmosphere starts to add a blue, it starts to make everything have a blue tint, right? So the farther away something is, it gets lighter and dips to blue because you have more atmosphere between you and the object you're looking at. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yes. It's really interesting how your knowledge of the world and how like science kind of influences your painting as well. So see how I added another layer? I went a little more concentrated with the leaves and I went over top of the branches a little bit and see how that adds more of like a leaf texture over top of it. So if you're ready,
Another green or?
nope, the same green. I just picked up more of that color. And I'm working less with, I'm not doing strokes. I'm kind of doing dabs with my brush.
It should be a bit darker.
Yes. Yeah.
Look how much that looks like leaves now.
Oh. I mean, summer. I think I think summer and start on this fall.
Okay, I'm gonna have to mix more of my color, so.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you so much.
thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Ooh, that's very dark.
No sugar in one.
Yes. Thank you so much.
A little more.
Thank you for. Nice. Yes, thank you so much. I didn't put the money yet.
Which,
I didn't put the money yet.
it's fine,
Thank you.
it's okay.
Where do I put the money? I guess so.
Yeah.
50 cents.
With
Oh,
cookies,
okay.
with cookies.
Sorry.
Gotta get those cookies. If you're not getting the shapes that you want, another trick is if you take this flat brush and you kind of just use the side of it and just kind of like, see how that it creates like more of a round shape. So like I'm going around kind of like turning it.
Pop it out.
Hey. So I'm working my way up, and as I go up farther, I'm gonna have less and less texture. Which will create this gradient of like it's darker at the bottom and lighter at the top, right? Nice. These are really good leaves. Yes.
I'm trying to put the darker.
Like, it's do it.
Yes,
For
yes.
my taste.
It is two-way, I agree. So let it dry and then go in with another layer.
I switched from pointy to square before we said to put up. So they don't look real, we should go back to pointy. I started
No,
pointy here.
you don't need pointy. What you need is more, I'm gonna show you what here actually.
Oh, okay.
So what you need isn't so much pointy
Yeah.
as just to start blurring them together.
Oh,
So
okay.
see how yours are a lot like this, where there's a lot of
Yes,
space in
yes,
between.
yes.
So then you could take it,
I just double between.
and you mess it up,
um,
and look how it starts moving.
Nice.
Okay. And here, so you just like your big this.
Yeah.
But that really.
Leave that there. so you
Yes,
can see that.
yes.
Just a mess up.
That's not the blue I was using, FYI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I was just going right from my Viridian green. My paint water is a beautiful green right now.
Ever.
Yeah, close. So I am still going to add another layer at the top, but it's just going, maybe like not up here, but it's going to slowly fade up. So it gets lighter and lighter as I move up. And my leaves are going to get thicker and thicker. Like, so they're not gonna be like really detailed little small things like they are down here. As I move up, they're gonna get bigger and bigger. Yeah, which will help them look like they're like fading. There's like more clusters and they're farther away. So I'm still adding texture, but not nearly as much as at the bottom. And I'm gonna add another layer. I'm gonna add another layer of dark on the bottom specifically of my branch, which is gonna start creating like a little bit of a shadow underneath. Nice. Because that's what you want, actually.
Welcome.
I really like how dark you are going in the back and the bottom. I think I'm gonna start going.
And
darker
I
too.
have changed a little bit. the
Yeah, I
color.
really like the blue that you added in there. I think that was
But
very smart.
This one was, I don't know how I
It looks good though.
found it.
I like it. I think I'm gonna do it too on my next wash. Ooh, nice. Yes. The texture on this is gorgeous.
It's dabbing, starting to look like.
It has a very Japanese look to it.
Oh, you find?
I do find it. Yeah. I
Yes,
like
we
it.
come by it.
It's a work. I can't do that, all of that kind of work.
Yeah, that's
Miss, yeah,
gorgeous though. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Whether, there's some other areas, started filling out here and everything too.
You know what? I wouldn't. I really like the way it looks, yeah. I think I would maybe add some green a little bit over top of the branches, like some of the leaves are going over top of them.
Okay.
Okay, don't be afraid of that.
Okay,
Yeah. I'm gonna write that. I need to go to-
okay.
It's so nice, not nice. It's so interesting.
Yes,
Every lesson.
yes. Are you
Love
taking
it.
the next session?
Sorry,
Are you taking the next session?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is on Mondays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I'm gonna
even
take it
better.
too.
Me
Yes,
too.
I'm gonna take it.
And after that, I'm going to try the acrylic lessons
Okay.
on the phone. If it will exist.
Right. Well, I see that they.
Cheers.
Drawing course.
Me too,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go now.
Are you gonna do it in the next one?
No, I'm gonna do this and then going next time.
Of the next.
I
You're gonna do
studied,
both at the same
I
time?
might.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you something, both of you. Even if you do not, have you learned to write kanji?
Oh, the calligraphy? No, I haven't.
oh yeah, after, when I was grown up.
Oh, of course, you did.
Because I have these earrings
Uh-huh.
and I have bought it. I know the meaning, it's long life, but I have no idea how is the letter.
Oh, you need somebody to
Is
read it.
it?
Knit the.
You have not good,
Yeah, you have already good. I'm hopeless, because I was born here and I don't know it.
Yeah, all the.
They're not Chinese, they're Japanese.
No, they're Japanese.
Oh, yeah, that's usually we are at the. say, usually we use for the celebration for marriage or the New Year. Something that is a symbol is something,
Fulfillment,
huh?
fulfillment, something, achievement,
No, celebration,
celebration.
more like a happy occasion.
Now, I would like to know, how do you pronounce this letter? If you know, it's something difficult. I was not curious at the time, and I regret. And I take advantage of you.
No problem. But how to pronounce, but that,
Is it a kanji?
yeah, it's kind of,
It's kind of-
it's a
You
Jew.
see, a lot of Japanese don't know how to pronounce the kanji itself. They know the
Kanji
meaning,
I
itself.
know, I
It's
know.
but they're
It
Chinese.
is a symbol.
I
Symbol, yeah.
Usually we did the envelope,
Right.
there's an envelope.
Yeah.
You know, when you have somebody married, we put some money in it.
Right.
And that's at top of the envelope, that's letter is on.
Oh,
Yeah, or somebody getting married, somebody with a new year. You know, that is something to celebration and happiness and
a wish for celebration.
yeah, something good to well, but
Thank you.
Like good fortune?
actually it's not much included in the States.
Okay, okay.
Anyhow, the life is included.
Yes,
It's for life.
it's more like a spirit, not the money things.
No, no.
Okay.
Sorry.
So that's
Yeah, and so you know, spiritual thing, we don't count the money so much.
Yeah.
But it's necessity,
skin.
Okay, so I was looking at Mika's painting, and she had like a dark blue at the bottom, and I really like that. So I think I'm going to add that in too. So I mixed a variation of that same color that we were using for the background, but I added more blue into it. So now it's a darker blue. And I added a little bit more of the burnt umber into it. And so if I add that on and really get generous with it, I don't like how dark it is, but so if I start to spread it out a little bit more.
You said it's a purple in it? Or-
No. It's a darker blue of the green we were using for the background. So I added more of my ultramarine blue and more of the burnt umber into it.
Okay, so more.
Correct, yes. But also like more blue than green. So it looks a little more blue than green now.
Oh, I see. So darker, but more bluish than the green.
Nice, there's a skill in that.
Not when you mean to do something different, that's not skill.
But just take note of how you did it though, right? The more you experiment with color, the easier it's gonna be to, yep, just doing dabs again. You okay, Mitt?
No, it's getting a bit young this year, and I don't know if that like leaves or anything, but it's okay.
Yes, it is getting messier, it's true. I'm trying to create like a decent gradient going up.
Well, decent isn't my vocabulary.
I'm gonna add some above this branch, but not a lot. I think that works on this side. And then so I'm gonna fade it out. So I really want this darkness to be in this bottom left-hand corner.
It's all right.
The bottom right-hand corner, or yeah, right-hand corner for me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I'm starting to lighten my my leaves as well as spread them out more, and that's how you're going to get that like gradient look.
So you're using pretty much as a paint, not so much diluted. Yes.
Correct, yes. Well, it is closer here, it's really paint, and then as I get farther out, it becomes more and more diluted.
Oh, okay.
So I'm treating this like pointillism,
Oh, I see, okay.
right, so that my leaves are closer together and they're gonna get darker naturally that way. And then as they go farther away from that dark area, they get more and more space in between them. I think this is too dark under here, so I'm lifting some of it up. Now that it's still wet, because it's still wet, I can do that. Okay, that's looking better. How do we feel about them, guys? Okay, so right now, because I'm done working wet on wet, I'm going to actually pull this off for me so that you guys can see what it looks like with a border. You guys keep it on, but I just want you guys to see it, what it looks like with a border on. Right? It's super clean. You can really see this like dark light. Nice. I like it. What do you mean? That's so nice.
It's a little bit impression.
Yes. Yeah. No. This is 100% impression. Yeah, I like it. But down here, let's do that thing where we like.
Okay.
What's it? Nice. This is gorgeous. Oh, thank you. Nice, Mitt. No.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I'm doing.
It looks so misty back here. Like you really have like a good like.
This
It's
is,
at the top of the canopy, looking out over the rest of the canopy. Great.
you see, this is the color
Of mist?
of, yes,
Yeah.
but you see,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you actually, Mitt as well, Carolyn and Mika definitely have like, it's at the top of the canopy looking out over the jungle kind of thing
yeah,
in the misty morning.
it's like in a meadow.
Yes. Well, it's at like the top of a rainforest is what I'm thinking.
Okay,
That's good.
I'll put that in. Thank you.
I don't see.
You have that look too. It's just because these are more blue and yours is green. Yours is more of a sunny day, like maybe it's like high noon, whereas these I think are like more morning. Does that make sense?
So I don't have
Very
any
much.
contrast though. in the way-
Yes,
I can't paint over it. I'm gonna.
I like it. I think leave
I-
it look bead. Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
what is the name of Parrot, in English?
Parrot?
The name of this.
A macaw. A macaw parrot.
Peacock, not peacock.
Macaw, M-A-C-A-W.
No. It's the generic, not the specific.
Parrot.
Parrot.
Yes.
It's like being supervising.
Yeah, a little bit.
Very important.
I don't.
Each branch.
I don't really think there's much else we can do to this. I really like it and I don't really want to touch it. The only other thing I would do is if you want to add more of a shadow, you can take that green and just do a wash of that green on the bottom of your branch. And it's going to, actually that blends it in. Don't do that. How am I going? Okay, so I'm just gonna like fill in that color that I just lifted out. Now what happens if I lift up near the top of my branch and like create kind of like a highlight? Little bit.
My power trees are very much skinny, need a food.
Yeah, so if you wanted, you can take some just pure burnt umber and just place like a really thin line at the bottom of your branches, and that's going to give it like a shadow look to it. If you want to, none of these processes are honestly 100% necessary. They just add another layer of depth. And then I'm putting a little thin layer at the top of yellow to make it look like the sun is hitting the top of the branch. You can't really see it on the TV, but I'll go around with it. So see how it looks like there's a shadow on the bottom, and then because I added yellow on the top, it kind of looks like, yeah, like it's,
Volume.
yeah, it looks like it's a circular object. See, so I added a dark layer on the bottom, and then
Gives it
yellow
more
on the
3D.
top. Yes.
Oh, nice. Try that. That's just pure yellow?
I used the yellow we used in the background, like for the dappling.
You're making a color, you know? Hard to know how much color to make.
I'm constantly adding color over and over again and like remixing the same colors, yeah. That's why I honestly mix always too much color.
Yeah. It's mine too.
Yep. And then after that, I think we're done.
Can't wait to see the page goes better.
Yes. Yeah, the big reveal is always one of my favorite parts.
Why would it be really-
Oh, when you take the tape off and you can see your clean edges and how nice it looks. So I definitely feel like I improved the original painting. I like it better.
Yeah, very nice. Well, it has the background, which makes it.
It's that stylized, right?
Yes. Do you disagree, Mika? It's okay if you do. Do you disagree? It's okay if you do.
No, I'm thinking very egocentric. I can take a photo of your original.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I'd like to try, because I'm going to continue, but you told us that the starting of the lesson will be
In
the
May.
beginning of May,
Yes.
after our Easter.
Correct.
Orthodox.
Yes.
Ah,
Okay, and I maybe.
Yeah, you
I
can definitely
could,
practice.
Take some time for exercising.
me too.
Absolutely.
Oh, you mean exercising or trying out what we've learned? Because I'm gonna
I
try.
don't know, because you know something, I have found a very beautiful photo on Facebook
Okay.
of two small parrot,
Cute. Yeah, parrots.
parrots with some cherry flowers.
Oh, pretty.
And I'd like to copy.
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
say, because it's exercise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if you do it, please bring it
Yeah,
in the
bring it.
next class so we can see.
You know, I have Sakura for my daughter, colored pencils.
But what do you think of from life, you know, like just from real flowers or
Like a still life?
rather than
But we don't have
we're
yet,
not at there,
we
we're not
don't
that level?
have yet flowers.
Oh, no, but even like I have cut tomatoes, 2 cut tomatoes, you can buy them for $3 at Westmont Forest. With some carnations, just 3, but
We move your.
it's different from drawing from a picture, right?
Oh, no, it's not dry.
You're drawing from real life, you don't
I know.
You are crazy for what? I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, we're not do this for a while.
Yeah.
like what we're doing now, we're doing it from another picture.
I don't know.
Like we're going to the museum.
Always so good.
No.
I will do
Yeah.
second time.
I love the way that you.
Yes, you're architect, you see. I'm not, I'm English.
Okay.
So what do you think about if we go home, should we just continue what we've been doing?
You
And I'm
wanna
gonna do
do
some over
that.
the month. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
the next
the
course.
second time is.
Better to stick with doing it from
You know,
another painting or do, I haven't done the balloons yet, you know.
Try still lifes.
Over and over.
Yeah, but
Try
any
it.
practice, any practice is practice. Yeah.
There I need more time.
You're definitely going to challenge yourself more if you do a still life,
Yeah.
but also you'll probably learn faster.
To just like.
If you do a still life and try, like, cause then you're going to figure out what works for you. Cause right now you're learning what works for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
We
getting your.
don't interpret what we see.
Yes.
No, because we can't, we don't have enough judgment, you know, I don't anyway, I don't have judgment.
Okay, so we
try it, yeah.
we have a half hour left. We can do this really fast palm tree painting if you want.
Wow.
Super fast, very loose. If you want, you can try it out. Or I could show you my cartoonish version of how I do roses.
Yeah, sure, I like that,
You prefer that?
Should we sketch at the same time, the rose? Or we
No,
just-
no, no, I'm gonna show you how I do like a really fast cartoonish rose. Okay.
For that, can I see all of that?
Oh, yeah, yeah, please, yeah. Nice.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
You have-
I like yours.
Yeah,
I like yours.
I like yours.
Oh, if you take the tape off, it would be much better at that time.
Sorry, if I take the,
Yeah.
yeah, scotch.
It was that in
But
the,
it's not-
make it like a little confined.
Yeah.
I like your red part, your way you did the heads there.
At the end,
It is,
can we put all of our paintings together and then I can take a big picture of all of them in one picture? Cool. But like, no, that's at the end, because my phone right now is recording, so. Okay, so how I do really fast roses. I'm gonna do it in a bright red so you guys can see it easily. All right. So if you think of roses, it's a very complicated flower to draw because you have this beautiful center, but it's created of petals overlapping each other and creating like blocks and spaces based off of that. It's a tough one. The way I like to start out is with 3 petals overlapping each other in a very small, and like, I like to think of it like if you, when you do that thing where you close a box and like one has to be over and the other one has to be under and the other one has to be over and the other one has to be under. I kind of
the
like,
four corners.
yeah, where you close a box and it like self-closes and can't open. You kind of have to think of a rose that way. So the way I do it is that my petals, so this tip is over this tip, which means that this tip is under this tip, which means that this side of it has to be over another side, right? Okay, so let me try to explain this a little more. Okay, so each one has to have a tip sticking out, right? So much like the boxes, there has to be one side that's over, one side that's under, one side that's over, one side that's under, right? So this petal, this one's over top, which means that this petal is going to be underneath the one under it, right? This petal is underneath this one, which means that this side has to stick out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a tough one. So then I'm going to continue to overlap them and allow them to touch because it's really, really loose. So then I'm going to do another one where it's kind of like this. And then now I'm moving to 4. And I'm going to continue to move in a circular pattern where they all kind of like overlap. Let me get closer so you guys can see it easier. And I'm gonna do one really fast first, so you guys can see what it like ends up looking at the end. Because right now it's hard to judge what I'm doing, kind of thing. And then as the flower opens up, my lines are going to get a lot thicker to kind of look like those ones that are like really far and open. And I'm constantly sticking maybe another one right there kind of thing. I'm trying, and I'm like trying to keep it very circular, which is what I'm doing here, where I'm like kind of figuring out where it is. So it kind of looks like a rose. It's a very cartoony rose, right? So then you could take your green and add like some petals. So this is how I do really, really fast, really quick roses. Does it look like a rose to you guys? Okay, cool. That's all I care about. Is that, okay, so let's try that again next to it. And I'm going to grab a slightly different color because I can. I'm going to do this one in a very bright yellow. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm making that triangle where one of them's over, one of them's under, one of them's over, one of them's under. So this one, I'm starting with one, and then near the edge, I'm going with another one. Oh, my hands are so shaky right now. So because this side is underneath that one, that means this one has to be over, right? And then which means because this one is over top of the other one, this one has to be under. So then the last one is going to kind of go like this. That's how I usually tend to start my roses.
You start with a triangle.
Yes.
It's like this.
I start with a triangle and then immediately the next layer tends to go into more of a circle or a square. You can even, if you don't like the center, you can like kind of do a little loop in the center, like one of these things where it goes like a little concentric circle as well. That's another way of doing it. Okay, and from there, now I'm going in a circle to put a middle petal, to put this end into the middle of another petal.
Okay.
So this end is going to go into the middle of the petal outside of it. And then I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to start curving it. So I'm going to make this petal. Okay, so then what I just ended up doing was this petal was tucked inside the other petal kind of thing. So I have a little bit of a tail there, and then it curves and then meets where this petal is. The trick is to not have any of your ends meet each other. You kind of want them to always be offset into another one, right? So then I'm going to do that again, where I'm going to actually do this one over top, right? Because this one's over top, which means that this one's going to be now over top, and this one's tucked in. And then I'm going to do one more that is over top of all of them. And I'm just going to make it really thick because it doesn't really matter.
No. Don't have to go. Oh.
It's a rose, it's a flower.
Okay.
I have a very
I'm-
delicate flower.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, very gorgeous. Exactly.
Now you have to
Yeah.
embrace each petal.
Yes, you have to like you have to like kind of like hold the petals with the other petals.
Yeah, so it's like just
Yeah,
all
yes,
like that.
exactly. But I'm breaking it down very mathematically. It's not a mathematical process at all.
No,
Well, it is because it's like that natural pattern kind of thing. Which natural patterns tend to have some mistakes in them. So then you can, yeah, just kind of like start holding each one. Just make sure that none of the tips butt up to each other, right? And then so you start allowing there to be space in between them. And then as it gets farther out and out, we're gonna get thicker and thicker lines.
Rounder and around.
Yes. Right, so I'm happy with this. I'm doing one last one of like really thick petals. This one can go here.
So that one is not necessary to overlapping, it's all more like a separate.
Yeah, yes, near the end it is, for
It's
sure.
Like open.
Yeah, this one's way more open, for sure.
I made mine too small, so I don't have space for my workshop here.
This is one of those drawings that like I do when I don't know what to paint, and I'm just like, I just want to paint for the sake of painting. This is like a really good go-to for me. And again, I don't like symmetry, so I'm always gonna have 3 leaves sticking out of there. So then you can alternate them and you can tuck them behind each other, kind of thing. So now I'm just kind of going, this one I'm just feeling out. Like I'm not even thinking about this one. I'm kind of just like feeling this one out.
look,
Gorgeous. Yep. Beautiful.
you know something? I have packed a lot of boxes.
Same.
It's easy, fun, because the last one, the last half, you know, it's so difficult to arrange.
Yep. So at this point, once you start really beginning to understand it, then you can just kind of like freehand this, so long as your petals hold each other, right?
Very nice. Looks great. So it's a good postcard or Mother's Day present.
Yeah.
Oh man, these make great cards. And you do them in like, you can do this in 10 minutes if once, because it's so freehand. Yeah.
It's nice, huh? It's very nice.
You know something, I like the flowers very much. And they are different here than in Romania. Because they don't smell. This is something I'm so,
Here, they don't smell?
No.
That's because
because
here,
of the ground, of the.
I don't think it's the ground. I think they're bred for look and not smell.
Yeah.
It's something I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of gardens, and if you step on a garden, you'd like to.
Yes.
I have
To
a wild,
breathe
I have a
something.
wild rose bush and it smells.
Yes.
It's,
It really
Yeah.
does.
Very
Very
great, don't smell, very good. Wild one, yes, natural.
yes, the wild one.
The wild one
Yeah.
smells
Yeah.
really lovely.
I'd love to ask you for like a little clip of like one of the branches of your wild.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
I
next-
got it from my friend's cottage up north and
You have a,
it keeps on growing.
May
Oh,
I, may I,
rose?
Yeah,
make a
it's a wild one.
oh, I love that.
Of this one?
Yeah.
The,
Good.
Yeah.
the punches.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yes.
This is what you wanted to put on.
Well,
But I'm coming here anyway.
Thank
to
you
pickleball.
for
you're welcome.
appreciating. my-
Oh, yes.
Oh, in the hall there.
I learn things from you guys all the time.
Oh, then I'll see you.
Sorry?
I learn things from you guys all the time.
It's easy to follow.
Oh, it is, eh?
Yeah, so easy. I have.
Everyone.
You know, the went to the parents,
Mhm.
they put the Thai basil on the brick. So I wrote it, not eat everything. I wrote it one and tied it with the paper towel.
Yeah.
Wet. But it did not, it started to root.
Oh, well, this thing grows like crazy over time, so I have to like cut it back.
Yeah, I had
It's
some,
not.
the deer ate it. They ate the branches, they're not supposed to.
You know, this thing is so full of thorns.
I know.
Oh, you can eat.
You
They
want
ate
some
it
too?
anyway.
You want some
Oh,
too?
I'll try it again,
Oh,
because I'm
well.
gonna put a fence around it, make it.
Oh, my God.
I can't imagine.
Oh, you're welcome.
They did, it's like, now it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
someone's supposed to.
Like a deer one all over.
Yeah.
I love it.
It doesn't have a thorn here and there, so.
So, yeah, that's supposed to be the rose.
Yeah, that's supposed to happen. Though. That's what a rose is supposed to be.
You have to wonder what, where.
Yeah, exactly. Well, for florists, they actually like take the thorns off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly, but it's dangerous.
I'll
Yeah.
bring some for sure.
Oh, I would love some. Yeah, you can get rooting hormone too, where you like dip
Yeah,
it
yeah,
into
yeah.
rooting hormone
Yeah.
and then just stick it in the dirt, and
Yeah.
it tends to help
Yeah, you just dip in and then stuck into
the
Yeah.
ground. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
helps for
like
sure.
the sandy thing first.
I have a green thumb, so I love plants.
Oh, you have?
Yep. Actually, like all the florals on my sleeve are because of my grandpa and my Oma. Because they came from Yugoslavia after World War II when like the communists took over, and then like they put the German people into internment camps that were in Yugoslavia, and she escaped. But she was like, they were a very wealthy farming family. So when they came here, I remember my Oma's backyard had no grass. It was just rows and rows and rows of vegetable gardens and stuff. Yeah, beans and everything. So like, yeah, I grew up with my grandpa and my Oma, like learning how to like plant, and like we go out every night with a flashlight slug hunting and stuff. Yeah. Well, when you have 3 grandchildren who are like, yeah, let's go find the slugs, and you just like go. Yeah. Like burn off the energy, go find those slugs.
I did a lot of annuals since yesterday, we had a little workshop out in Hudson.
Oh,
And
nice.
I've got a grow light that I ordered on Amazon, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I got a seedling, I'll give you one.
Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful.
we tried all zinnias and everything. So
Lovely.
something should come up, yeah, especially with the grow light, and poppies from my native garden.
Oh,
I
love
So, yeah, they like
That's
sandy
so
bad soil,
cool.
yeah. So I'm seeing if they can, we plant them in pot, in seeding soil, and then gravel and sand. They're so tiny.
I like the soil.
Oh, please.
Fun, yeah.
This is
So you would.
a detail of
Plant
this
them where?
thing.
So I'm gonna do that. in pot.
beautiful.
My daughter.
I
has
like
a
it.
garden like that, so
I-
that-
Yeah, that's
told you that
beautiful.
I have lived several
And
years
then
in
poppies
Japan.
and so-
Oh, yes, yes, you
So,
did.
and,
Beautiful.
This is
They
something
use,
we have learned
came back from maybe
Yeah,
a year and then-
absolutely.
You
Yeah,
know.
I love that.
And I went to Well,
You see, this is in my, I have taken this photo.
Okay.
Yes.
Gorgeous. Yeah,
Isn't it?
that would make a very nice painting. Absolutely.
This is my first hibiscus.
Oh,
I have this small branch. And I have grown.
Yeah, it's grown.
Over 30 years.
I love it.
I hope I have something. Some, these are snowdrops.
Oh,
I have
beautiful.
taken the photo here, but they
They're like
have
crocus.
been brought from Romania because they are not the same.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Patricia, for joining us. I hope to meet you next semester.
You have here, I mean, I have found here.
Echinacea, right? Or coneflower?
It's not chosen. It's a kind of wildflower. It's
Okay,
very
yes.
popular,
Yes.
but I have brought the seeds from Romania.
Oh, lovely. Oh, they're doing so healthy. Look at that.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Mitt. I'll see you in an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to go back and eat and come back.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
so thank you very much, everybody.
Bye.
It's another photo.
Oh, beautiful. I love that your hibiscus is blooming. That means it's healthy and happy.
I don't have it anymore.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
I couldn't take care of them. I've been out in Romania for 2 months.
I understand. So these classes restart in May.
This is from Romania.
Beautiful.
It's a wild
hibiscus.
hibiscus.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
It's right in Portugal.
Oh, Portugal is one of the places I really want to visit. I really do. Yeah.
You have no idea.
Thank you, Patricia. Hopefully I'll see you next semester. Starts again in, I think, the first or either the last week of April or the first week of May. I hope you enjoyed it and have a great time. Until then, take care.